The Story of Tam and Cam by Vietnamese Folktale, brought to you by TellStory.net. Stories from around the world.
In a village among the paddies and bamboo groves of old Vietnam, there lived a girl named Tam. Her mother had died when she was small, and her father had remarried, his new wife cold and sharp-eyed, her daughter Cam selfish and quick to complain. After Tam's father died, the stepmother put Tam to work from dawn to dusk while Cam enjoyed comfort and ease. One afternoon, the stepmother called the two girls together.
Go to the pond. Whoever catches more fish will receive a new yem dao.
A yem dao was a beautiful red bodice, a rare treasure for any girl. Tam worked all afternoon in the mud, scooping and scooping until her basket was nearly full. But as the sun began to dip, Cam ran over with a cheerful smile.
Sister, your hair is caked with mud. Go wash it quickly before Mother scolds you.
Trusting her, Tam set down her basket and waded to the stream. When she came back, her basket was empty. Cam had taken every fish and gone home to claim the prize. All that remained, struggling in the last few drops of water at the bottom of the basket, was one small goby, the fish the Vietnamese call a bong. Tam carried it gently home and lowered it into the household well, and but appeared to her then a divine presence, quiet as light on still water.
Tend this fish well,
but said, and taught her the words to call it.
Bong bong bang bang. Come, Gobi, come, eat the golden rice of our home, not the thin gruel of strangers.
Each day Tam brought a handful of her own rice to the edge of the well and called those words. The little goby would dart to the surface and eat from her fingers. The stepmother had been watching. One day she sent Tam far out to graze the buffaloes and told her to leave her coat behind. While Tam was away, she dressed Cam in that coat and sent her to the well to recite the calling verse. The goby, deceived by the familiar cloth and the familiar words, rose to the surface and was caught and cooked for supper. That evening, Tam called and called into the dark water, and only silence answered, and then, slowly, a thread of blood rose to meet her.
do not grieve. Find the bones and bury them in 4 jars, one beneath each corner of your bed.
Tam searched until she found the small bones and did as she was told. Soon after, word spread that the king was holding a great festival, and all the people were invited. The stepmother mixed a large basket of sesame seeds into the rice bin and told Tam.
Sort every seed from the rice before you leave.
Then she and Cam put on their finest clothes and went, leaving Tam alone in the empty house. Tam sat crying over the impossible task until a great flock of sparrows flew through the window. They picked through the grains with quick, clever beaks, and within the time it took to boil water, the basket was sorted clean. Remembering the jars, Tam knelt and lifted their lids. Inside each one she found a gift, an embroidered dress in gold and crimson, silk shoes fitted to her exact size, and a horse as white as morning cloud. She dressed, mounted, and rode to the festival. When the king saw her, he noticed at once the quiet dignity in the way she carried herself. They spent the long afternoon together, talking as the lanterns were lit one by one above them. But when the festival ended, Tam slipped away through the crowd, and at the ford where the river path crossed the water, one of her embroidered shoes fell in and was carried downstream. A royal attendant fished it out, and the king, finding he could not put the evening from his mind.
Find the woman this belongs to,
he said simply. When the king's men reached Tam's village, Cam was the first to push forward, but the shoe would not go on. Then Tam stepped forward quietly, and it fit as if shaped around her own bones. Tam became the king's wife, and for a time, she was at peace. But the stepmother had not finished. She sent word asking Tam to come home for the ancestral festival, and while Tam climbed the tall beetle palm to gather leaves, the stepmother took an axe to its roots. The tree fell, and Tam fell with it into the water below, and did not come back. Cam put on Tam's clothes and returned to the palace in her place. But Tam's spirit could not rest. She became a golden oriole and flew back to the palace garden, scolding Cam along the way for washing the king's robes carelessly. The king heard her song and felt something stir in him, an ache he couldn't name. He held out his sleeve and spoke softly.
If you are my Tam, fly in.
The oriole flew in, and from that day he carried it with him, speaking to it as he had once spoken to his wife. Cam, jealous and afraid, killed the bird on the stepmother's advice. Where it fell, 2 graceful trees grew up and spread shade across the garden. The king sat beneath them and felt at ease, so Cam had them cut down as well. The wood was fashioned into a loom, and as the shuttle moved, a voice seemed to rise from it.
She who took another's life will not keep it long.
Cam burned the loom. From the ash, a single tea tree grew, bearing only one fruit, a golden, fragrant sphere. A kind old woman walking past was drawn by its scent and held up her basket, murmuring,
O tea, fall into my basket. Your scent I will breathe, but eat you I will not.
The fruit dropped gently into her hands. She brought it home and set it on a shelf, where its sweetness filled the house like incense. Each morning, after the old woman left for market, the fruit would open and Tam would step out. She swept the floors, cooked the rice, and tended the fire, then slipped back inside before the old woman returned. One day the old woman came home early and found Tam at the hearth. She took the empty fruit shell and tore it so Tam could not return to it.
Stay. You are welcome here.
The king was traveling through that province and stopped at the old woman's house to rest. He noticed a tray of beetle nuts prepared in a way he had known only once before, folded just so, with just that particular care. He went inside, and there was Tam. He brought her back and restored her place as queen. Not long after her return, Cam came to Tam with a question.
Sister, how is your skin so bright? Tell me your secret.
Tam looked at her for a moment.
Dig a deep pit and fill it with boiling water. Bathe in it, and you will be beautiful.
Cam did as she was told, and was no more. Tam had the remains prepared and sent to the stepmother as a gift, saying it was a delicacy from Cam. The stepmother ate from the jar day after day, well satisfied, until a crow landed on her roof and cried out,
Delicious! The mother eats her own daughter's flesh. Is there any left for me?
The stepmother looked into the bottom of the jar, saw what was there, and did not rise again. And Tam lived her days in the ordinary, hard-won happiness of someone who has been lost more than once, and each time found their way home.